What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another live stream. Let me just do one thing real quick. Perfect. We are good to go. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Thursday afternoon, Thursday, October 2nd. I'm Bobby Goodsby, your host of the Reality After Show / Bobby Goodsby Twitch stream, multi-stream. If you guys are new here, please give us a like, give us a follow, hit that bell notification so you're notified whenever I do go live, or if we go live with any of our podcasts here at Reality After Show. You can find us youtube.com/aftershow, or you can find my personal Twitch account, twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here today. If you guys can, say what's up in the comments. I read all of your comments live here on stream, and I'd be happy to focus on any of your concerns, questions. If you want to talk Big Brother post game, especially what's going on social media with all these players and the crazy aftermath of a lot of different situations. We also can talk some Survivor 49. We had an episode last night. If you guys didn't get a chance to catch it, check out our coverage here at Reality After Show. We did a podcast with myself and Gabe Ortiz from Survivor 47. Unfortunately, Fairplay couldn't make it last night. He was busy having a little house party watching himself on the floor. So if you guys haven't checked that out, check out The Floor on Fox. Fairplay is on that. And then also the coverage we did yesterday on Survivor 49, I thought it was a really good episode. So if you guys can, go give that a like, go check that out. It's good stuff that Gabe and I had for the podcast for Survivor. And yeah, I go live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, right here on Reality After Show and on my Twitch account streaming, twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby, youtube.com/After Show. All right, let's get into some of the comments. You guys are here. Fresh show. Hey, Bobby, how long should we care about BB27 drama? The season is over and BB27 stars are very unlikable. That's the thing. That's what people want to talk about. They want to talk about BB still. I'm all about moving on to Survivor. I also am all cool if you guys want to talk BB Aftermath. I'm cool with either or. The Amazing Race coverage is going on right now. We're going to also be talking about that. So we're going to kind of talk about a lot of different things, but I feel like it's still a topic people want to conversate about with Big Brother, especially with some of the post-game drama that we've seen on social media. So we will be talking about that, but feel free to get your comments in here if you want to discuss Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race, even Johnny on the floor, whatever it may be. Any reality TV coverage, you guys put in the comments. I'd be happy to read your comments live. Let's get to more. Morgan, the Homewrecker, and Vince the Weasel are the only two I care about. They gave us great feeds to the end. I mean, determining on your factor of great, like it was something. It was definitely something. I mean, that's one thing, is at least I was entertained for the train wreck all the way through. Now that it's over, it's like I kind of miss the train wreck, right? I miss seeing that train wreck on my screen, but do I really miss it, or is it just like post Big Brother withdrawals that there's no more Big Brother for at least a good 7-8 months? So it's kind of like, I mean, as much as it sucked in the moment, I wish we had another season around the corner, and unfortunately we don't have Big Brother Canada anymore, so we don't have that to look forward to in the winter. Hell, I'd even take Big Brother reindeer games, or even Celebrity Big Brother at this point. I wish we had something coming up in the winter schedule, but unfortunately that's not the case. What's going on, Amy? Good to see you again, my friend. Hey, Bobby in chat. I'm getting ready for work, but going to be listening. Awesome to have you. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Thursday afternoon. So a couple things I wanted to get into. Let's see what Fresh Show said. Fresh Show said, I'd rather talk about how much I love Savannah from Survivor 49. She is so lovely. No, I like Savannah too. Savannah's playing a hell of a game, right? Like Savannah, obviously we know she will be on 50. She's getting a lot of the edit. And I know maybe they're just hyping it up because of the fact that she is on 50, but it really is giving winter vibes. Another one that's giving me winter vibes is Sophie B. I think that the fact that she survived this tribal council was massive for her, especially for long game. I think Alex made a big mistake by not taking the shot there, but we can get into that as we continue. Also, check out our coverage. We talked about it a lot last night, but I'll be happy to talk about it here on stream with you guys as well. Got 8 people here listening live. You guys can get your comments in. I read every comment live. And yeah, so let me get to some of the drama that I found on social media. I do have something, a fresh show. You got to see it last night because I know you were part of the Survivor podcast, but I will be sharing my little vent story with everyone once we get some more people in here, which I feel like in a few minutes, probably more people will start popping in. Sorry about the late stream. Literally, as soon as I was about to go live, my freaking internet just went out. I was like, wait, why is nothing working? Why is my screen black? What is going on? Is the thumbnail saving? And then I realized, oh shit, my internet connection went out. So I had to restart that. And then, yeah, now we're back on here. They got it, did it then though, and not when I was live streaming. So that was good. Guys, we got 10 people in here. If you're in here, say what's up in the chat. Your comments read live. So I'm going to just pull up some of the things that I saved bookmark wise on Twitter. Let me share screen. There we go. And switch camera angles. There we go. There we go. That's what I meant to do. All right, so let's see here. Survivor last night, they changed the way to earn immunity idols, but the keys with the ball and chain and the immunity drop before tribal cancel. Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting for the fact that, like, if you're one person trying to do that on your own, like, there's no way you don't get noticed, right? So the whole ball and chain thing, I thought it was a cool idea, but it was just so, like, you're going to get caught. So if you guys haven't watched Survivor, last night's episode of Survivor, we are talking a little bit about that, but we're also going to be talking about post-game Big Brother drama. So if you guys are here, say what's up in the chat. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I thought Sophie B had a great idea of trying to cover it up and try to get the idol for herself. So yeah, we'll talk more about that here in a bit. Sandy, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing today? Good to see you. Dame, what's going on, Dame? Thank you so much for saying what's up in the chat. Appreciate you. All right, so some of the things I bookmarked that I wanted to save to show you guys. So I thought this was really cool, right? And let me click on the actual post. So hashtag Big Brother 27 dominated this summer. 8.4 billion minutes watched, plus 27%. Most streamed season ever on Paramount Plus, which is massive. I'm sure that was also a big Rachel Riley factor. Live feeds up 35%. I mean, honestly, think about the seasons past. By the final 5, final 6, did you really care about watching the live feeds as much? Because there wasn't really a lot going on, right? So you could get a lot of your info from like Taryn or other people that were, you know, talking about it on social media. You could go on to, you know, Twitter, you know, Instagram, TikTok, what have you, and kind of get your information there without having to watch the live feeds, which generally at that point, you know, aren't the best. But because of the Vince and Morgan of it all and the train wreck that was, I honestly think that's why the feeds were up so much. I really do. I think that people were tuning in just to see how crazy it was. So I think that's a big reason why the feeds were up. 10.7 billion social media impressions. A lot of that's the Rachel Riley factor, 100%. And the fact that I also think that there was a lot of love for Keanu as well out there. There was a lot of love for Ashley out there. There was a lot of just talking about the Vince and Morgan situation. So I think that's a big reason as well. The 2-hour live finale airs tonight. Okay, so that was what they were. This was before it aired. But yeah, just some of these numbers were absolutely staggering. I know that the numbers for Big Brother were just way, way up, right? Like 27% from last year. That's wild. So that's a good sign for the longevity of Big Brother, you know, in futures to come. So, okay, here's a video I wanted to show you guys. I didn't know it had music in the background, so I won't play that. But it was basically here. I'll do it without the audio. Let's see here. So it's Ashley doing the live stream, and then freaking Riley comes up to hug her. That's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Just help me. I died when I saw that, though. I thought it was so good. It was so good. I was like, oh, Ashley's face says it all. Here's another one I wanted to show you guys real quick, and I'll get back to your comments here in a second. Get your comments read live here on stream.
Dr. Will! Dr. Will texted me and left me a long message. He said he's a huge fan of me. He loves seeing all of the edits. He loved my game. He watched the live feeds. And yeah, Dr. Will, he freaking texted me. He sent me a voice memo of how much he loves me. Dr. Will! Dr. Will texted me.
So yeah, so that was Ashley talking about how Dr. Will had messaged her and gave her a bunch of love. That's awesome. I love to see that from the community. I also, so I messaged both Ashley, Keanu, and I reached out to Rachel trying to see if I can get them here on stream. So we'll see if and when I do hear back from them. I did hear back from Rachel, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I did get a text back from Rachel. Basically just told her, I love you. I hope you're doing great. You killed it this season. You were amazing. Like, I hope you have your head held up high. Like, you have so much love and support out there, and we wish you nothing but the best. And I know you'll be back on our screens again soon. And I basically just told her like how much, she meant to me. How do I not have Gabe followed on here? All right, well, let me add Gabe on there. But yeah, so just reached out to her, and she wrote back saying, thank you so much for the support. I know you got my back. And like, I told her, listen, take this time to be with your family. Take this time to, to get back to reality. But when you have time, I would love to have you on the stream to talk about your game. So we will see. Hopefully we can get Rachel back on the live stream here soon. But I did reach out to her. She did say, thank you so much. She was, it's just a quick message, but it was good to see that, see her back in the real world. And, the fact that she reached back out pretty quickly too. I was kind of surprised. So I sent her a couple of videos. I sent her a couple of our live streams that we did here, especially the one after she was eliminated when I did the vent session. So she liked that as well. So hopefully we'll have her on here soon. Amy says, I did love how they sped up the end game. Yeah, I think that was the right move. I think that's what they should do going forward. It's how they kind of used to do it too, where basically like you have the final 5 up until like the last week of the season, and then it goes all the way quickly down to the final 3. Even we had final 7, final 7 like a week and a half before. So yes, I think that the sped up end game, I think the show likes it too, because it keeps it more interesting, and it's not like you have 3 people just sitting in the house for a week waiting for the show to end, basically. My boy Bobby, what's up, Knox Too Tall? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Sandy Pandy says, I like them all, but Kelly not so much. I agree with you. Like, Kelly, like, I gave her a lot of grief, right? I gave her a lot of grief, and I wish her nothing but the best in real life. But Kelly, she was a wacky, interesting character, not socially completely aware of her surroundings. But I do appreciate that we had her on our screen for as long as we did, even though she drove me nuts. They sped up the game, was awesome. Keep as many house guests in the house as possible. I agree. I think that it's 100% what they should do, and I think that's what they're going to do going forward. So Bobby does know the 2 49ers that will be on 50 take a lot of the wind out of the sails this season. Maybe it's just me. No, it does. Like, going into the season, I said it on the show, I think going into Survivor 49, it was probably the least anticipated season of all time. Like, I went into this being like, oh, this Wednesday Survivor starts? I had no idea. I haven't even been paying attention to the preseason press. Like, a lot of that's because I was really focused on the Big Brother of it all. Like, there was a lot of Big Brother stuff going on at the time. And it was one of those weird years that we had like the 2 shows intermix at the same time instead of the finale night and then start of Survivor. But I think the 50 of it all really does take a lot of the wind out of the sails. And I think that that's obviously an issue because of the fact that the show decided they wanted to go that route. I mean, it's really hard for them not to go that route, especially when obviously it's 50 and they got to still show 49. But I think it would have been a lot better had they done 49 as New Era All-Stars, right? And Johnny said it before, like, if it was New Era All-Stars for 49, I feel like it would have gone a lot better leading into 50, right? Because there was no anticipation for an all newbie season. When we know 2 of these people are going to be on our on our screens for 50, it just kind of took a lot of the wind out of the sails, right? And I feel bad for the cast, because the cast, I actually think I like it. Through 2 episodes, I'm very happy with Survivor 49. I thought the second episode was a really good episode. I know other people didn't like it as much, but I think there was a lot of good and a lot of potential with this cast going forward. Now, I know people are like, oh, it's just the same thing. You got alliance of 4 on each tribe, and they're just going to, run the game until we get to merge and then jury. But I do think that there are some dynamic characters in this cast, and I'm here for it. That's for sure. But like I said, I think 49 should have been New Era All-Stars. That would have been a lot of momentum. There would have been a lot of hype for that. And then leading into 50, and you could have had some of those New Era All-Stars be someone you could possibly bring back for 50, or bring back people that you didn't have on New Era All-Stars from the New Era as part of 50. I think that would have been a much better play. Thank you for the comment. Fresh Show says, Bobby, have you listened to Anne's music from Survivor 49? Her songs have very adult themes, kind of like female version of Steel Panther, the glam rock parody band. I have not checked that out. Send that to me. I'll have to check that out. Send it to me at Goodsby Bobby on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll check it out. Ask Rachel, please describe how bad Keanu smelled in the house. All right, I'll make sure to ask that. I'll ask Keanu too, because I reached out to Keanu and Ashley. So let's see if they message back. That'd be awesome. Bobby, when you get more people on the stream, show chat your new haircut. Okay, so all right, so this was something I was going to share with everyone. So we do have like 23 people in here. So I just have a real quick vent session real quick before we continue on with the Twitter stuff. So let me go back to the big screen. All right. So for those of you that don't know, that didn't watch the podcast last night, we got 23 people in here. Get your comments read live on stream. So yesterday, I decided, hey guys, I'm going to go get my haircut. It's about time. It's very, very much so necessary. Also, shout out to the Padres. They got to win today. Come on, let's go. But I was like, okay, I'm going to go get a haircut. And if you haven't seen the Netflix documentary, where on the Netflix documentary, quarterback, Kirk Cousins, who was former Vikings quarterback, he always goes to Great Clips. And he goes to Great Clips to get his haircut, and he always shows a picture of himself. Well, the funny thing was, before that ever aired, before that was ever a thing, I used to go to Great Clips and show them a picture of Kirk Cousins and be like, this is the haircut I want. I like a one on the sides, faded up, and that's the haircut I get, right? To show you guys an example real quick. So this is the haircut I normally get. And this is the picture I show them every time. Okay? So right there, that's the picture of Kirk Cousins I always show, right? Good looking haircut. Love that haircut. That's the type of haircut I always get. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go to Great Clips and get my haircut. Well, I go in there, or I look on the app to check in. They're closed. And I was like, well, damn it, that sucks. So I guess I got to go Supercuts. And I'm not a big fan of Supercuts. I think like every time I've been there, hasn't worked out well for me. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it another chance. I go in there. I tell the lady, I want a one on the sides, faded up all the way to the line, but no hard part. And, you know, this is the picture of Kirk Cousins that I like to use. She's like, okay, yeah, that's fade. No problem. That's easy. Well, guys, she goes and she shaves the sides, and then she gets out the razor. She's like, how short do you like? I was like, well, you know, not his length. I actually like it a little bit shorter, not too much shorter, but just a little bit, because then it saves me a trip of coming in to get my haircut. So I go and she pulls out a number 4. I'm like, kind of curious what she's going to do with that, like the 4 razor. And I tell her scissor cut on top. So I was like, oh, maybe she's just going to the line like I told her, because, you know, she hasn't got to that part yet. No big deal. Well, she's up to the line, and then she just keeps going. And at that point, there's nothing I can do. It's too late, right? Like, and what am I going to say? There's nothing you can say in that moment. It's just the hair's gone. So this is what I got. This is not a fade. This is a buzz cut. And it's very gray too. You can really see the grays right now. But my God. And I was so nice about it. I was like, oh, I didn't even say a thing to her. Like, I couldn't say a thing to her. I was just like, once she went and she was like, I was like, okay, up to the line and then scissor cut on top, right? She was like, zzz, zzz, zzz. I was like, no. So I told my wife about it, and we're driving to go pick up our daughter from school. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. She was laughing her ass off. She's like, you can really see her 5 head now. So yeah, so the scissor cut, this was not a fade. So this is what it was supposed to look like right here. This is what it was supposed to look like, guys. Right there. And this is what I got. This is what I got. So why is it doing that? All right, there we go. So this is what I'm stuck with. It's all good. But then here's the thing. Here's the kicker of it all, right? So we go, and I decide My wife picks me up. I'm like talking about this. It's a whole thing. And then we decide to go to my daughter's school to pick her up to kind of like, and we're like making fun, like, oh, let's see what Penelope thinks of it and stuff. I totally forgot pulling up to her preschool class. This is the shirt I was wearing. It was my adult softball league, D's Bunts. This is the shirt I'm wearing to pick up my kid from school. So immediately my wife and I are bawling, crying, laughing, and just, I'm like this, like, right? Like I'm like this at her school. I probably look like the biggest weirdo. Just holding myself like this, trying not to show my shirt with this stupid haircut. The whole time I was thinking about the Forgetting Sarah Marshall line. Wish I wasn't wearing this fucking shirt. It was quite I had a day. My wife's like, okay, you get to pick where we're going for lunch. You've had a day. So I think I'll be wearing the hat the rest of the stream. It doesn't look bad when I wear a hat. Oh, at least it's just hair. It'll grow back. But yeah, I had to share that with you guys. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Shared about it last night on stream too. But what am I gonna do? All right, let's get back to some of your comments. They could have used anybody from 49 on 50. Yeah, exactly. I think they could have used anyone as well. I think this cast, I really like this cast. I wouldn't mind Sophie, Jake, a lot of these people. LOL, yeah. Damn, it was a mess. Oh, damn, you tell her she just fucked up. I have my cosmetology license, and that is so on her, not you. No, but the thing is, like, I work in customer service as a bartender, so I just could never. I just was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, hey, oh, it looks great. Thank you so much. I was like, no, this is exactly what I asked for. Like, I'm too nice. Like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's just hair. And two, it's like, it's already done. So there's no salvaging it. I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to I'm not that kind of guy to cause a scene or to say anything. I'll just bite the bullet and deal with it. Are some pills you take to prevent losing hair? I don't take any pills for losing hair. I'm not losing my hair. I just have a big ass forehead. Trust me, it grows. It's just back. Oh boy. Bobby, welcome to the buzz cut style. Welcome to the family. No, Dave, you're just bald. That's not a buzz cut. You're bald. Ask your doctor. Mary. Look, bald with hat on, keep hat off. I do look bald with it on, right? I think it looks better this way. I don't know. My wife might come in here to just talk about it. She just came home. I can hear her just walked in. You F up by not taking a picture of yourself when you get the perfect cut. Always go in with your own profile unless you got your own barber. Here's the thing. I always go to Great Clips. And they never fuck it up, right? And they even have it in the notes. This is exactly how I like it. The last lady I did it at Great Clips killed it. They were closed Wednesday at noon. I'm like, why are they closed Wednesday at noon? That's so weird. So I was like, whatever. I'll just go to Supercuts. It's across the street. Basically the same thing, right? Never again. Never again. My wife's in the other room. I'll try to see if she'll come in here to talk about her thought on it. Maintenance will be much easier. That's true. My wife's like, you don't even have to put gel in. I was like, I hate you. I love that shirt. I still have mine too. Yeah, from our softball league. It was great. What's up, Even Hands? What's going on? What's the difference between bad jury management and a bitter jury? I mean, there's a lot, right? Like, there's bad jury management where you aren't doing enough to maintain those relationships, or you let those relationships fall by the wayside, where when it comes to the jury votes, you might not have that person and someone else on. Like, prime examples with Ashley. Ashley worked those people before they left the house and made them feel good about Ashley, where they felt better about voting for Ashley, even though you may have done more in Vince, because you didn't maintain those relationships. That's bad jury management. And bitter jury is just people just aren't voting for you just to not vote for you. And I think there was a mixture of both for sure in the season. I would tell your hairstylist, it doesn't look like the reference photo I showed. I think this was one of the worst cuts I've had. I need to take a picture of this so I can show them this is not what I want. The haircut is pagonged. It really is. What's going on, Arturitas? Hope you're doing well. It's a balding with a buzz. Not bald, damn it. You're bald. Toronto guy. let's use Josh and Paul as an example. If Josh was smart enough to own his game in the goodbye messages and Paul was dedicated to lying to the end, Josh earned his win. That's a great example. I think that's, even though I don't think Josh was a very deserving winner, I do think that is a great way of putting it. It's a great thing to talk about. As far as like jury management goes, that's why I say no such thing as bitter jury. I do think there's a bitter jury. There can be people that are bitter at you for the way you played the game, but the thing is, you have to make them respect your game when you go out when they go out of the house, or at least respect you enough to be like, listen, you made this move because it was the best thing for your game. It should be closer to 4-3 is fine, but 7-0, Morgan gave us sympathy, is when you should question the jury. For me, it was definitely more so the fact that with that jury, I feel like Vince wronged a lot of them. And we talked about this. He wronged a lot of them. So you can't necessarily knock them for being constantly played, constantly giving the guy the chance, and then he constantly just backstabs you. So I don't really see it. Like, it is at times, like, there is part of it as a bitter jury because they're bitter in the fact of how he played them. And it doesn't even have to account for the game. It accounts to them as a person. So there's a little bit of bitterness towards that, but I do think a lot of it was more so jury management. Bobby, you like Jake Show Thief prank on Survivor 49? No, I think it's very stupid. I think it's going to bite him in the ass. I think he's trying to be like fun TV and something different, but it's not really that fun. It's just kind of like, all right, I just would find that annoying. You know, like, it's, I don't really think it's good TV as much as he thinks it is. Maybe he thought it'd be cute, but I don't know. I just think it's stupid, and I think it could bite him in the ass quickly. 30 people in here, guys. Get your comments read live here on stream. We were talking about my haircut, but we're also going to be talking about social media. God, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's a buzz cut. It's not a fade. It's a buzz cut. Jesus. All right. The more I look at it, the more it pisses me off. All right. What about unbitter jury? For example, Ben from Survivor. He was such an asshole, and the jury still rewarded him, in my opinion. He should have punished for how he treat them. Now, the thing is with Ben constantly had his back against the wall and just kept winning. Now, I do agree that maybe you might not agree with the whole, all of a sudden they switch how fire making now determines your placement in the final three. And that was interesting timing. But I do think against the other two, who are you going to really vote for when he was the one who probably earned it the most with his back against the wall? All right, let's see here. Ace Dave, I will not accept that balding. I'm more towards bald, but I'm not bald. And the jury was super bitter, but they voted for the right winner. I agree. I don't think they were very bitter. I think they were bitter, but like, I do think they voted for the right winner. Go and rewatch HHH. Ben was such a butt. Maybe I should see it again because it's been a minute. B. Nickel, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you in here. While I don't dispute Ashley's win, I think there is a reason Vince is talked about more after the season. He played a more impactful game and is the reason why I would rather listen to his deep dive. I'm reaching out to everyone, so I'm going to reach out to Vince as well. I think Vince is probably off social media right now, to be honest with you. That's just my gut feeling. I will reach out. We are going to get into some more of the Vince of it all when I get back to the social media posts. So there's definitely some Vince stuff coming up in the social media posts. If you guys have anything from social media, as far as maybe like them on TikTok Live or just anything of interest that won't get me copyright infringement, please send it my way. Instagram is @GoodsbyBobby and Twitter/X @GoodsbyBobby. I think it's easier for you to send it on Instagram, but send me anything you have and I will show it here on screen if I can. Dame says, I feel we will get a bunch of players who will want to play an honest game going forward, which is boring unless you're coached from Survivor. Now, the thing is, I kind of feel like we've been saying this for a while, that we said this after Paul too, right? Like, this isn't the first time we've had this kind of opinion about, hey, we just saw Paul play such an aggressive game that his jury management wasn't up to par and it cost him the game, even though he was definitely the most deserving winner over him and Josh and even Christmas. And we thought, going forward, is this going to make it for boring gameplay going forward? And I think that we haven't, there's been times we've seen boring gameplay for sure, but I do think that the show constantly evolves itself where there are people coming in that are still willing to play the game, but you can still play the game, take your shots, and do it to a way to save your jury management with the people that are voted out. I mean, look at Chelsea. Chelsea did a great job with jury management, even though she was responsible for some of those people going home. She had her hand in a lot of different pots and worked her magic, especially with Mackenzie, trying to convince Mackenzie to do stuff that was beneficial to Chelsea, and people respected Chelsea for making that move. So I don't think because this one circumstance happened, we saw it with the Vince situation. I don't think it'll make gameplay stagnant. I really don't think so. But I do think that it is a factor that it might make people apprehensive for the next season or two, but every season is so fluid. What's up, Oral? How you doing? Thank you for joining the chat. Shoe prank is stupid. I agree. I think it's just so dumb. Hey, Bob, Christine, what's going on, Christine? How you doing? Hey, Bobby, great show. I'm bitter about production, LOL, but thanks for but that's BB for you. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. It's like, and I appreciate the kind comment. That's production for you. Like, honestly, like, have we gotten to the point where we need to shake up production? Like, I'm ready for some fresh blood in there. I've said it on the stream. It's just gotten to the point where it feels a little stagnant. I mean, why? Also, besides the whole Rachel of it all, the fact that Eric Stein came out saying that they were planning to do more of the hamster wheel death is mind-boggling to me. And they didn't do it because of all the outlash, the backlash from it. I just think that obviously there's a disconnect between the fan base of what we want, what we ask for, and production. And I thought Big Brother Canada at times did really good with listening to fans' reactions to things and even bringing them up on the show that, hey, you spoke, we were going to do this. But then they completely shot themselves in the foot by getting rid of the live feeds, and that killed the show. So I think there's an aspect of the show's always going to think what they do is right. And I don't knock them for that. That's also kind of like CBS as a whole. Executives are going to have an idea of what they want, and they will. The fact that they even listen to the fan outrage about the hamster twist makes me feel better. But I think if it wasn't so vocal, I don't think they would have changed. But I think because we were so vocal, it really helped. Who said Vince is more talked about than Ashley? That's your algorithm. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too, is I think the whole Vince Kelsey situation, which we will get into, I think that's really what's showing up on a lot of people's timelines. But Ashley's all over my timeline as well. Kelsey was seen with Vince getting food and they looked happy. She will take him back. We're going to get to that. So I have that on here. I'm just catching up on some of the comments. What is all bitter jury talk? Ashley, mother of the game. Like, Ashley deserved it. The thing was, if Vince was up against, like, Ava, if he was up against Kelly, do we think that Vince would have won in those situations? I think it would have been close. I really do. I think that Vince shot himself in the foot by not taking Ava there, by not taking Kelly there, by hell, maybe even not taking Lauren there. I think he definitely shot himself in the foot. But also the fact that Ashley took out Morgan, the biggest threat, I think was what really solidified it, along with her social game throughout the season. We saw enough of the honest BS on Survivor 48. Luckily, I think this season's going to be a little more cutthroat. This was my favorite episode in 2 seasons. I think since 47, out of all of 48 and now the start of 49, I think this is episode 2 was my favorite episode. Now, episode 2 is always one of my favorite episodes of Survivor, because it's really where, the first episode, you're learning the players, they're kind of getting to know each other. You got a lot of challenges, takes up a lot of airtime. You kind of get to know the people as like who they are back home. And then episode 2 is really where you get to see these are the people working together. This is the dynamics around camp. What's going on, idol hunts, all of that stuff, journey. And it's not so much challenge based. But I do think this is the best episode I've seen in a minute. And I know people don't agree with me. Vincent Morgan plan backfired. It definitely did. But the thing is, it would have not backfired for Morgan had she just won that last HOH competition. They should have taken Ava, though. As soon as Morgan walked out, there were at least 3 votes locked for Ashley, no matter who said what. 1,000%. I totally agree. I think Ashley there, that was 3 locked in votes. I do think it would have been close between Morgan and Ashley. And the more I thought about it, because at first I thought it would have been a blowout for Morgan, but the more I thought about it, I think for sure that Ashley and Morgan would have been a lot closer than I think. I think Morgan would have pulled it out though, but I could be wrong. I wish they would have Julie would have asked the cast that, the jurors that. Bobby, last night, Big Brother 27 Ashley and Big Brother 26 Chelsea did a live stream, and they said Vince choked the chicken during last night's showers constantly. I didn't see that. But it doesn't shock me. It's not the first time we've seen someone do that. Jag won with a version of the Vince game, but Jag was like, who you gonna pick between him and I forgot the other tall blonde dude's name. But like, who are you going to pick? Obviously, Jag won a lot of the competitions down the stretch because he, was going against people that were a little older and probably not as good in the competitions. And it's the Jag game is such an asterisk to me because he was voted out, because he, just basically won competitions out. His social game wasn't that great. I don't know. It was whatever to me. I hate the Jag game, to be honest with you. Survivor and BB hate their fans. It's kind of true. like I think it comes from a place of them feeling like, well, we know more, right? Like it comes from a place of we know what's right, and you're gonna watch it regardless, so we don't have to listen to what you have to say. And the few times we get production with like this hamster wheel of death situation where we are so vocal and so loud that they have to change it. But the thing is, the show's never going to change unless we as a community show them that we need a change. Like, we need this to happen. But that's never going to happen, right? But here's the problem. If we say we like tune out or stop watching or what have you, because we're so irritated by what production has done or what they're doing to the game at times, then it risks the show getting canceled because the numbers are down. So it's a lose-lose for us as a fans, right? It's really hard for us as fans to have any kind of sway in what happens in the game. And at the end of the day, do I want this completely owned by the fans and we decide exactly? Like, I don't think we're even like the best judges of what should happen at times. But I do think there are times where it's irritating where the shows take the game and some of the aspects that they throw in there. If it was just like a one-off thing that they try, fine, whatever. But when it's constantly a thing, it's just frustrating. This is a social popularity contest first, not the challenge. Vince won HOHs and will his power incorrectly. It's definitely... So he's definitely a social issue for him where he didn't feel like he needed to mold those relationships to his benefit. The only thing was he molded them, but he molded them in the wrong way, where when people left, they felt a lot of distrust for Vince. Ashley without power was bending the game at her will. Exactly. Like, but the nice thing for Ashley is she didn't have any of the blood on her hands, right? She didn't have any of the blood on her hands until Morgan at the final HOH competition. And that worked out to her benefit, but she was working things behind the scenes. And that's more respectable when it's kind of like when you're taking the shot behind the scenes and manipulating the game to your benefit, where you can in a some way, somehow factor, mold the game and manipulate the HOH to do your wishes without you having any of the blood on your hands. And then that HOH does stuff against their best interest, then you get all the credit for it. If that makes sense. Oh my God, if Ava had won, I would have never watched again. She was pointless. I agree. It would have been rough. What last night, 49 was a snooze fest. I liked it. I liked 49's second episode. I absolutely did. It could have been an email. And I know I'm in the minority here, but I thought that we got to see a lot of tribe dynamics. We got to see a lot of who's working together and who's not. I understand people don't like that. It's just, and that's the problem with these 6 people tribes, right? The problem with the 6 people tribes is it really lacks gameplay having to evolve right off the bat, because all you need is a strong 4-person alliance And then no matter what, you can control the game to at least make it to merge or some kind of swap or what have you, and then start really playing the game. So I do think that the game gets in its own way by having these 6 people tribes to start the game. I think just give us freaking 2 tribes of 8 or whatever it may be, 9. I don't know. Give us that. B. Nichols says apparently Rachel unfollowed Keanu on IG and refollowed him. Frenemies lives on. Well, that's good to see. That's good to see. I would love to see them. You know, I know she wasn't a fan coming out of the house. She was still mad about the whole frenemies thing. She's like, I don't need frenemies. I need friends. But I think Rachel's going to realize that like there is a lot of love for Keanu, and there's a lot of love for Rachel, and we would love to see that relationship carry on. We hate Jack's game. I agree. Tar was cute, but I'm ready for the Turners to go. Honestly, watching it last night, if you haven't watched it, we're going to talk a little bit about the Amazing Race last night. I thought they were going to go. I mean, they just, isn't it funny how everyone has like their color, right? Like, you know, like there's like the black team, there's a green team, there's a blue team, there's a red team, there's a pink team. And then the Turners are just like, we're wearing whatever grunge we have on. There's no color to their outfits. It's just like all over the place, right? I feel like Turner just came to the game and was just like, oh, I didn't think I had to shop for a certain color. You know, it was funny to see that. It was a good episode last night of The Amazing Race. And I'm not even the biggest Amazing Race guy. Ashley deep dive with Taryn being filmed this weekend. Can't wait. I'll definitely be tuning into that. That's for sure. What's up, Chris? How you doing too? I agree with Mary about the episode last night. I was just bored, struggling to put my finger on why, but I just didn't enjoy the episode. Maybe because it was just the obvious of who was going. Now, here's the thing. I actually thought for a second that there was a chance that Alex was going to make the right move, right? Like if Alex takes the shot there and goes after Sophie, I think it dramatically changes his game. So I talked about it with Gabe last night, where I gotta pull up the names in front of me because I'm gonna forget the name since it's a brand new season. Here, Survivor 49 cast. There we go. All right, so if Alex takes the shot, come on, picture, load, buffering. If Alex takes the shot and goes after, oh, there it goes. Okay, Sophie B instead of Annie, right? And he goes and uses the idol on Annie. I feel like it buys him a lot of time, and he's in a central power situation. So here's the deal. Now you're down to 4 people in a 4-person alliance for the Blue Tribe. You've got Alex, who's working well with Jake, but also Sophie and Jake are very close. And then Jeremiah is kind of good with everybody, but kind of on the out. But the thing is, Alex now has this idol in his back pocket, and people are going to target him, right? People are going to look at him and be like, okay, well, we could take the shot at Alex if we make him feel comfortable enough not to use his idol. And now he's forced to use his idol next time they go to tribal council, which they're looking like the disaster tribe. They can't finish a puzzle to save their life. So there's a good chance they could go back to tribal council. But if he saves Annie with the idol, takes out Sophie, Sophie's gone. Annie is now very happy with with Alex, and is like all on the Alex train as if she wasn't already. But now he just saved her. So now she's indebted to him. She's not going anywhere. Then, yes, you might have pissed off Jake, but who's Jake going to go to? You're the next closest person that he had. You took out his other possible number 1. So now Jake is going to have to go back to you. And then you have 3-1 against Jeremiah. And I don't think Jeremiah is going to pull either of those people the other way. And even if he does, it's a 2-2. But with Alex here, if he doesn't think he has to use his idol the next round because he feels comfortable with the Jake and Sophie of it all, I think Sophie's going to take the shot at Alex. I absolutely think that Alex messed up here, and I think he might not be along for the game unless he uses his idol correctly. But I think even then, even if Alex uses his idol and they get rid of Jeremiah, I think he's screwed because I think Jake and Sophie would then just go after him. So I don't know. I digress. That's playing out a lot of situations of them completely collapsing, but I think it would have been great for him to take out Sophie in that position. So let's get back to some of your guys' comments. Let me move back over here. These people complaining at day 3 of hunger is why the game needs to go to 39 days. Well, the thing is, I've said it before, Dame. Like, I think that these people, I think the show needs to give these people food. The fact that they don't get food, like beans and rice, and they have to just eat whatever rations of coconuts and crabs and whatever they find is all they get. And sometimes they don't even have fire to cook those things. I don't need that. I don't need starving people. I don't need to see them eating earthworms. Sure, the show probably thinks it's fun, but give them food. I don't care. I don't care about the 26 days. Like, I don't care. It's 26 over 39. I know they're never going to change it. But the thing is, I don't need to see them starving either at the same time. So that's what I have a problem with. Give them food, because I feel like you'll get more dynamic gameplay if these people at least have some food in their belly and can maneuver through the game with a smart mind. Like we saw it in last night's episode, where people, because of the heat and probably lack of food, were like forgetting what they were saying when Jeff was asking them questions. And that's just bad. Like, I don't need that. Like, that's clearly a starvation / heat overload thing, where Jeff constantly wanted to point it as just the heat, but I don't think it was just the heat. I think it's also the lack of food. So I think that if you give them food, I think that really heals up that problem of them being able to speak clearly and possibly game more. If they're having fog brain this early into the season, I can only imagine where it's going to go. Not sure if it's because I know they're on 50, but the way I see the season already is just red dominating. Hope I'm wrong. It does feel that way. And it feels like the red 4 have the strongest alliance by far. We're seeing a lot of Savannah on our screens. And I think Savannah is obviously going to be a big player. We know she's on 50. We know Rizzo's on 50. So red and that 4 being so strong is obviously going to go somewhere. They're going to get far into the game. I still feel like I'm getting vibes of a Sophie B win, and I think her getting saved last night was huge, but we'll see. But I could also see Savannah win, because why would they only have 2 winners on 50 and not have the third, right? Like, there's 3 tribes. Why would you not have 3 winners on 50? I don't know. Bobby, the blue tribe, probably the worst tribe in Survivor history. How do you lose to yellow tribe with 20 pounds of coconuts on their backs and 10 keys to open a lock? And not even just that, the massive head start that they had when they got onto the puzzle. That's why I think they're That's why I think they're the disaster tribe, because they can't do a puzzle to save their life. And we all know all of these games in the early rounds come down to the puzzle at the end. It's the great equalizer, where it doesn't matter how well you do in the physical part of the competition. If you can't do the puzzle at the end, you're not winning the competition. And we saw that play out last night. Yellow tribe looks really dominant, and I would not have thought that when the season began. So good on them. Also, we're not getting any content of yellow, so it makes me feel like yellow is not going to matter a long game completely, but like, we are getting no content of them. We got all red and all blue and a little sprinkle of yellow in this episode. I've seen people comparing Ashley to Dr. Will. Can you please stop with this blasphemy? She is a bottom tier winner. I completely agree. She is not Dr. Will, and anyone saying that is out of their mind. She is a bottom tier winner for sure. I like her, and I think she played a good game, but she is not Will status game player. However, we do need to stop doing tribes of 6. We can do it here and there every 5 seasons or something like that. But the thing is, that is like the format that they've stuck to the entire, like, what, for like, how long now? Over almost 10 years? I think, when was the last 2 tribes we had? Was it millennials versus Gen X? Was that the last time? I don't even know. You guys will probably correct me. I'm probably wrong. But when was the last time we had the 2 tribe format? It's been so long that I can't even remember. And that's the thing. That's the problem. It's going to always be like that, because that's what Jeff wants. And I think it really hinders gameplay. I think it just creates these factions right off the bat, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you find an idol. And I just don't think it's very fun. Like, give us 9 people, 2 tribes of 9. I'll be about that all day. And I wish they would have done that for 50, but we know that didn't happen either. You're entitled to. I mean, you're entitled if you want to feel that way, go right ahead. I just disagree with the take, just like B Nickel. You're entitled to your opinion, but Ashley is not bottom tier. Watch the Eric Stein interview with Sharon Tharp. He explains very well why Ashley is a great winner. I think she's bottom third, right? And at first, I was really low. Like going into like before the finale, I was like, oh, bottom 5, bottom 3 winner all time. Now I'm saying probably if you did it in tiers of 3, she's probably the top of tier 3. But I would not put her even at the middle of top tier winners. But I think that's great for her because guess what? If they end up doing an all winner season, like we've been rumored to get, there are rumors that there are talks of a Big Brother winners game eventually coming. I just see that conversation heating up a lot more on social media. And maybe it's just hearsay. It could be nothing. But if that's the case, she's in a great spot if she ever came back for a winners only game of Big Brother. I think that no one's going to be coming for her. No one's going to see her as the threat. There's going to be so many other top tier winners that are going to be bigger targets in front of her. She could honestly play like the Kelly Wentworth second chances type of game where who's coming for her? No one. And then she proves why she is a good winner. If she were to do really well on that, my tier ranking of her will come up a lot. Agree, B Nickel, low end of the low tier winners, in my opinion. I put her bottom third, top of the bottom third. Not the very top, but like towards the top of the bottom third. She made one move and never had power all game. That's the thing. That's where my biggest knock against her is the fact that she didn't have power, but she did at the very end when it mattered. Wow, there's a lot of comments in here. You guys are killing it. 41 people in here. What's going on? I'll catch up on all these comments. The Blue Tribes is a chop. They're honestly now they only have 4, and these are the 4 people in Alliance. So I do think Alex is in trouble if he doesn't play the idol. Oops. I am so bored by your take on Blue. That's how boring they are. That's fair. That's fair. Hey, Bobby, what's going on, Juan? How you doing, bud? Jeff wants this to be the adventure BS. And that's the thing is I was talking to Gabe last night, right? At post show. And I'm sitting in my audition tape. And he reiterated to me multiple times, don't talk about the podcast. Don't talk about how you're, this super fan. Talk about how you want to go on the experience. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're casting. So that's what I'm going to do in my audition tape. I'm going to do that. I got to do it. I just keep saying it and I keep putting it off. I got to do it now because casting is really heating up in October usually. So I need to get that in that with my traders tape as well. But that's what I'm going to be going for is the adventure of it all. Missed the episode last night, but this is just as good as watching. I appreciate you, Zen Knitter. If you can, though, definitely check out our Survivor 49 podcast we did last night. Me and Gabe Ortiz broke it all down. Thought it was a really good episode. I want to like people on 49, but the 2 returnees being known by basically everyone makes it feel to me like nobody else matters. And her edit so far isn't pushing back on the rumors. They aren't. They aren't at all. Like, it really is like they're going all in on the Savannah train. And even Rizzo, like, I have a feeling there's just no way Rizzo wins, right? There's no way Rizzo wins because they're not giving us enough of his edit compared to Savannah's. Everything is coming from Savannah's point of view that Savannah could be a real winner threat in here. I think Sophie is another one of those. But do we have Savannah and Rizzo as like so close? They almost made it, but they just weren't. And they were big enough characters, and maybe they'll be big towards the end stretch of the game. And that's why they got called back for 50. Or do we have one of these two potentially as a winner, and we have 3 winners on the season? I don't know. You don't have to direct power, aka comp wins, to be a good player. If you can navigate the game by aligning with the right places to push your own agenda, stay on the block, and when you are on the block, you rally the votes to stay and then win when you need to, aka the start and end of the game, then you are a good player. I don't disagree with that take by any means. You don't have to have the comp wins. I do think the comp wins help, and I do think in some certain situations, if you don't have the social strategy game on lock, or you don't have people that feel good about you going out of the house, and then that's when I think that the comp wins are important, because you have to have something to fall back on. Because like Vince, like he had the comp wins, but he was always the one in power, that when he was in power, he rubbed people the wrong way because of his lies, because of the unnecessary amount of things he said to people to get in their good graces and then instantly backstab them. So there's definitely a way. What did I say? Where was I at? Oh, right here. Yeah, that's called a floater. I definitely think it's more of a coaster, but yes, I see what you're saying. If they're having trouble, maybe they need to do better on casting and physical, because 3 days and someone is eating worms is bad, and maybe pick a better time and location. I mean, when have we ever seen this kind of problem though with the heat? Like outside of oh my gosh, what's that with Caleb, where Caleb passed out that season? It's blanking in my mind right now. I know the season. I'm just blanking with Aubrey, Michelle, and all them. But like that was the last time like the heat was like a big factor, but that was a different location too, right? So the thing is, I do think that you can never fully tell with how the weather is going to play out. We've seen hurricanes, we've seen cyclones, like we've seen the weather be all over the place. Now we're seeing extreme heat in this situation, and Jeff has said that the heat plays a big factor in this season. But I do think a lot of it is the food. I think a lot of it is the food, and that's something that's an easy fix. Just give the people the food. We don't need to see them have fog brain on our screens. Survivors should let each team keep their flint. I agree. I think that they should, at minimum, get fire, even if they're the disaster tribe and they keep losing. Then give them the flint on the start of episode 2. That I'm fine with. Sure, one, a 3-day stint with no flint, whatever, they were last place, what have you. But you can give them the flint after that. It doesn't have to be the whole game. I don't get why they take the flint away. Does Rachel not know what Kelly and Ava said about her? No, I think she's well aware of it now. What's up, Natalie? How you doing? Thank you so much for joining the chat. I think she's well aware now of what was said about her, and Brendan has filled her in with the majority of it. Because Brendan was all over everything. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I went in to get a haircut, and it got totally botched. They gave me a buzz cut when I asked for a high fade, and this is what I got. So we talked about it earlier on stream. If you haven't checked it out, go back and watch my rant about that. But yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. So it's going to be a long time before I have hair again. So I'll just be wearing hats. Winners at War, we start W2. I'm not sure what you mean there, Mary, so I don't know. Juan says, no way. I love that they keep their flint if they lose. Should motivate them more to win the next challenge and creates more tribe drama. I understand that point, but I don't need that. Like, does that really play a huge factor in the tribe drama? Not really. It just shows that they're starving. That's about it. What's up, Humane? How you doing, Humane? Welcome back in. Tell them to grab a life vest. Small tribes suck ass. Watch AU. Big tribals can be a lot of fun. I agree. I am all about the big tribal format. I hate the small tribes. Dame says it's not just the 2 tribes. The social hierarchy is flat now since the puzzle is so important and no providers changes the game completely. The fact that almost every game at the beginning of the season always ends in a puzzle, I do agree that it's very frustrating. Like, they do. I like the fact that the puzzle does have a factor, and it's not like someone can just run away with it, right? Where you don't have just one strong team out physicaling everyone, and then they get to the end and they just win because of physicality. That's more Survivor AU. And I actually do appreciate the puzzle because I think it is a great equalizer and allows teams to kind of catch back up if they're stronger in that aspect. But I don't think it needs to be so hard, right? Like, the puzzles don't need to be astronomically hard for these people to just not even be able to compete. I mean, put it somewhere in the middle. I don't mind the puzzles being there, but make them just like doable too. And maybe that blue tribe was just that bad. I don't know. Ashley is probably around number 10. Number 10 all time? Oh, I don't know about that. Are you saying top 10 or 10 worst? Because we've had, 27 winners? I'd probably put her at around 20 to 18, somewhere in there. Mary said, somebody needs to be at the bottom regardless. Ashley deserves to win over Vince. Her game was better, but she is 19 of 27. of the winners. That's exactly what I just said. I said somewhere between 20 and 18. 100%. I agree with you. Dr. Will even contacted Ashley, congratulating her and telling her she played an amazing game. Praise from Will, praise from Eric Stein. That's high praise from two fantastic players. No, it's great. But I think, I mean, they would reach out to anybody telling them they had a good game, right? If they really felt that way, they would tell them that. But like, I'm sure he's reached out to other players in the past too. I don't discount her game. I just don't find it as one of the top tier wins of all time. Not even top 10. Eddie doesn't count. Yeah, that's true. Eddie doesn't count. So 20. The editors deserve the blame. They should give all the players time on the show. It doesn't help to have a winner get little to no coverage throughout the season. And that's the thing, is like, if one of these other people wins, they are vastly under edited compared to like a Sophie, a Jake, and a Savannah. Like, those three are overpowering the audience. And if you're talking about Big Brother, as far as Big Brother, it's a lot harder for them because of the fact that it's all live, so they don't know how it's going to play out. But you can equalize the editing, right? And I know they're going to highlight the people that are, possibly going out, and they're going to highlight the HOH and anyone working directly with the HOH or trying to manage the HOH's power. So a person like Ashley, who's more behind the scenes and more so, playing her cards right and trying to socially maneuver in the game, I feel like it's hard for the show to edit that in a certain direction to give her more airtime. But do I think they could have done a lot better? Hell yes, I do. I think you could show the social strategy more. You could show that it's not just about having the power. But do I think the show as a whole, they're going to focus more on the HOH, the person closest to HOH or trying to run the HOH, and the people on the block? And the fact is, we have so many people on the block throughout the season, and that's another reason why Blockbuster should end prior to jury. Because if it ends prior to jury, you only have two people on the block. You kind of have an idea what's going to happen by the Wednesday episode or Thursday episode, and you can show that less of what's going on there. And you can show these other people's games more. Not just the silly goofiness of finding Ava's water bottle with mold in it. Use that to show Ashley's social strategy. Who on the female winner's side come back on all winner season? Ooh, I mean, if I'm really looking at it, right? So let me pull it up real quick. Big Brother US winners. All right, so there's not an updated chart. I saw an updated chart on social media, but I don't know where it's at. It's okay. I know based off of this picture who were the other two. So if I'm looking at it, the people I would say, so let's say you had, how many people did we have this season? 18 or 19 because of Rachel? I can't remember. But let's just say we had 18, right? So 9 men, 9 women. So women, I think you would bring back Taylor, Chelsea, Ashley, Casey. And I'm saying this as like, this is what the show would bring back. What's the most reasonable amount of people they would bring back? So those 4. Nicole, Rachel, if she would do it again. Jordan, because the show loves the Jeff and Jordan of it all. And then you got to go back pretty far. Do you go after a Maggie, a June, or a Lisa? And that's where it's tough. So I feel like you have all the last, what is that? 7 female winners. Maybe even a Morgan Willett. Do you throw in Morgan Willett from BBOTT? I mean, I feel like that's more reasonable than, say, a June or a Maggie or a Lisa. Of course, I would love to see June play again. That's without a doubt, I would love to see June play. But let's just say that. So if we did 8, I would probably say it would have to be Morgan, because I think that's just too far back. Plus, we know Julie's opinion on June. Then for the men, I think, that's very tough too, because it's like, who could you get back? Who would come back? And who's not wanted back? I think Xavier, Cody, Josh. I don't think Steve's coming back. Derek, Andy. I don't know if Ian would do it again, but Ian, I'll throw in there. looking at this list, I mean, then you would hope you would get Dan and Dr. Will. That would be prime. But I could see them honestly not being able to get a Dr. Will or a Dan and like getting a Jackson instead. Unfortunately, that's what I would see happening. It's tough, though. It's tough. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. 40 people in the chat. If you guys are new here, give us a like, give us a follow. Hit that bell notification so you're notified whenever I go live. Social media. You can find me at GoodsbyBobby on X/Twitter and Instagram, and twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby. Follow me there so you'll be notified whenever I go live on both Twitch and Reality After Show. I multi-stream on both. Appreciate you guys being here. Get all your comments read live here on stream. So let me catch back up. B. Nichols says, I personally don't want an all-winner season. I just follow the standard all-star format if we're going to bring back players. Honestly, I think we're going to need at least 5 more seasons before we can even possibly have an all-winner season, because I just don't think there's enough people that they would want back or would say yes to coming back as far as winners. But there is talks of it. Next season is Rachel the Fourth Mastermind. I'll say it again. The Masterminds, they blew it. They blew a great opportunity. It should have been Cameron, Glenn, and Jody. Those are the 3 most screwed people all time by twists. You can't tell me otherwise. All those other people, I don't care. They played the game. They had, they got screwed, but in different ways. Those are the 3 most screwed people all time in Big Brother. They should have been the Mastermind. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Okay, I know I'm out on the loop, but how do we know that 2 people from 49 are going to be on 50, and how, and which 2, how did they fuck that up? So they fucked that up because they released the cast ahead of time. Now, here's the thing. CBS never officially announced who the 249 people are, but Dalton Ross, like he always comes out with his, and if you follow him, he does great work. And I always love that he comes out with the cast early, usually by like May or June. He's able to release who the actual cast is on InsideSurvivor.com. So go check that out. But he reveals the cast every season as soon as they actually go out there on the island. And so he revealed who the 249 people were. So that's how a lot of times we know where it is. So, and they also announced who the 50 cast was. So if you want to go check that out, InsideSurvivor.com. Love Dalton Ross. Love what he does. They don't do that. And sorry, real quick, to go back to that. I said that before. I think that like they should have allowed him to come out with that information, or whoever else came out with their information. They should have let them come out with, here's who's on 50, but you're not allowed to talk about the 249 people. Then I think that would have had a lot more interest going forward. But they never put a caveat saying like, hey, you can't reveal the people who were just on the season before. They let them roam with the whole cast, which I think is a mistake, because then it takes the wind out of the sails of the season big time. They don't do the Mastermind again if they have an ounce of a brain cell. I agree. I think the Mastermind was stupid. But all those things are always stupid. Like the AI thing was stupid. Like Janky World is stupid. But they're like so cheesy. They're doing it to be a family-friendly show. Family-friendly show. So it's like, it's just something we're going to have to, like, we have Zingbot for the last 20-something years. Like, I know it's not been that long, but you know what I'm saying. I'm exaggerating. So it's just not going to change, right? It's just not going to change. And it's 50 not like winners or popular players like All-Stars. So the thing is, we thought it was going to be, they said it was going to be a celebration of all the seasons. It's Survivor 50. It's the big season. And it's literally half new era, half old school. New era meaning season 41 on. Half. And not even like from all the seasons. We have 3 people from season 48. Why do we need 3 people from 48? You have so many people you could have pulled from these amazing casts that haven't had even one chance back. And now these people that were on possibly the most boring season I've seen in 10 years, and you have 3 of them back. That is such a recency bias. And it's really like no one wanted that. I would have loved to see 75% of this cast be old school, which is, 39 seasons, because technically 40 is all winners, but 39 seasons of people to pick from. And you only picked half the cast from those 39 seasons and the other half from 9 seasons. That's crazy. And some of them were from multiple new era seasons. It's just or like multiple players from one new era season. It's just crazy. So that's why. And that's why people are up in arms about that cast. Honestly, at the point, we bitched about it, bitched and moaned multiple times about it. I think we're just at the point now where it's like, it is what it is. It's already happened. So let's just see it play out. We're all going to watch. How hurricanes work on Survivor, they have to evacuate. Well, like it was, I think I misspoke when I said hurricanes, right? Like it was like hurricane level winds, or it'd be more so like it was like a cyclone. But I think there was like hurricane level winds, stuff like that. It wasn't an actual hurricane. So I probably misspoke there. Just because Dr. Will congratulated Ashley doesn't mean she's a top tier winner. She did the minimum, benefited from circumstance, and made the right choice at the end. She won, yes, but not masterclass. 1000%. That's how I feel exactly, Juan. I agree with you completely. I'm way behind. Sorry, guys. Co-wrong, you were talking about Bobby when the heat was bad. Thank you. Oh, man, I am so far back that we're back to the whole co-wrong of it all. Humane said she lost her 2 closest allies because of the worst twist of all time. I don't disagree with you there, but I do think that she won based off her social strategy, and then she took out the biggest player in the end. But do I think she played a top tier game? No. She did the bare minimum is absolutely incorrect. I watched feeds every single day. Ashley worked hard all season. I'm not discounting that she worked hard in her social strategy, but do I think that she played the best game? No, she didn't win a lot of competitions until the very end when she needed to. No knock on her there. And guys, we can have differing opinions. That's the thing that I love about this and about our community here, is that you guys might not agree with me, and you might have very good points. I might have very good points, but we're all entitled to our opinion. So that's why I think that that's what makes us a little bit different than other podcasts and other live streams that you guys may watch. Is here, I will go to bat with you guys. I will, we might disagree on something, and I might be strong on my take. You guys might be strong on your take. But what I respect is that we each have the take, and we are each able to vent our takes here and try to convey why we think we are right. And no one's wrong or right. It's just personal opinion. And at the end of the day, that's what I think makes our community so strong here. And you guys have helped me grow this from a month ago, or like a month and a half ago, 3 people on my live stream, to now we have 40 plus live every single day. We've had 100 at one point. I'm granted that was under special circumstance, but we had over 100 people in the live chat before as well. So I think without you guys, this is not possible. And I appreciate you guys appreciating the content that I am giving you here as well, because I think that this is just different from other formats you might see, and makes it a little bit different from what you find elsewhere. Could you imagine if someone backstabbed Vince the way he did Keanu, Lauren, and Riley? I feel like he would have had a full-blown temper tantrum meltdown. I think we would have seen what we saw with Vince in that second part HOH throughout the whole week. Kind of wish we would have saw it. To be honest with you. Humane says, if I was on the cast, he would have been gone week 3. You're talking about Vince? If that's the case, I agree. I mean, he just gives schemy vibes, right? Gamers seem to be good with puzzle. That's why Morgan did so well. Absolutely. I mean, being a gamer is definitely a huge, huge benefit to like your game when it comes to Big Brother, for sure. And I still think it's silly to like hide certain things as like jobs and stuff. But I think being a gamer definitely helps you in those puzzles. They had 3 hours a week to take a come out and give more edits to the others. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they had plenty of opportunity, and I think that they should have absolutely spread the love around when it comes to, because you don't know who's going to win, right? You don't know who's going to win. So you need to give everyone that fair share of the time spot. Well, you can still highlight your big characters. You could still make them relevant, but you can also, give a shout out to everyone and show everyone's individual game and how they're playing. Okay, she positioned herself in the right spot, not taking that away from her, but she did hide behind Rachel for most of the game. If we give her praise, then we give Enzo praise as well. That's where I go back to as well, where she did have Rachel in front of her, who Rachel was benefiting her game because she was working for Ashley, with Ashley, but mainly for Ashley to get her further in the game, because everything that Rachel did, she wanted Ashley to be a part of it. Now, once Rachel was gone, her back was against the wall because she didn't have that shield, but I feel like she had done enough socially to create that judges alliance with the others. But I do think that a lot of the judges alliance was built because of Rachel, and Ashley benefited from that. So that is another great point to bring up. I'd rather have a second chances season over an all-winner season. I agree. I don't disagree. I think we're too early into an all-winner season possibly happening on Big Brother. I would rather have second chances as well. And I don't want to see some of these people we've seen multiple times. I agree. I think second chances is the best play we could do. But if we had an all-winner season, those would be the people I would predict would possibly be on it. 17 people. Okay, so 17, and then Rachel was 18, I'm guessing. She aligned with Rachel, her friend, and yes, used her as a shield. Anyone in the right mind would see a winner came in and align with them and learn from them. Rachel said as much herself. I don't disagree that she learned a lot from Rachel's game. I think she directly benefited from Rachel being, the bigger shield in front of her, and the fact that Rachel was really the building blocks to helping form those alliances. But then once Rachel was gone, Ashley really turned it on, especially her relationship with Morgan, where we saw her do what she had to do to make sure Morgan knew that she was completely comfortable with her. So I don't knock her game, guys. I really don't knock her game. I think she played a good game. I just don't find it top tier. I want June, but I don't think she would do it. I don't think so either. Chris, I would have done that day one. Me too. Rachel was shocked. People didn't ask her more questions, etc. I'd have been asking for advice all the time. I agree. I would have been asking as well, especially with Rachel. I would have been picking her brain on every little thing. I've done that on the podcast. When last year when her and I were on the podcast together, after the stream, I would ask her all kinds of questions about stuff. If they brought back Jackson Mickey, I would pray he would be the first boot. I think he would be the first boot. The thing is, Jackson, as much as he's a, kind of a dumbass and just really just toxic, he did play a good game, right? He did play a pretty good game. I don't know if the show would have him back, especially like that lie to get the target on Tommy. Like, that was genius. But is he a good person or someone I want to see on my screen again? It's debatable. It's debatable. I don't know. He did some pretty shitty stuff. Said some pretty shitty stuff. But do you think they would put Kat and Riley on Tar? I hope not. I don't think anyone wants to see that. I don't think we want to see Riley or even Kat on our screens ever again on anything. Someone made a post too. It was like, what are the chances of people from this cast getting on certain shows? And it was like Will and Ashley for Tar. It was like Keanu and Morgan for the challenge. It was like everyone else I don't care to see, and didn't have Rachel on there. And then it had below that, it said Dateline. Kat and Riley. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. That's pretty funny. We had an all-star that didn't make it past day one last time. If you played before you qualify. I'm trying to see what you're talking about there. If you play before you qualify. Knox, you I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow. I don't know what you're referencing here. My bad. Well, obviously hide behind the biggest shield in the game, and she was the biggest. I'm not taking away from her victory. It wasn't as impressive as everyone says. It's social comp show. I agree. I agree with Juan, and you can disagree all you want. That's fine. I knew there would be returning players, and I would align without whatever vets on the cast. I mean, even if there were vets on the cast, I would still want to work with them because, one, that they're always going to be the bigger target than you. And then two, the show wants them to stay around for at least a little bit. So if that's the case, the show's not going to directly try to let them go early. So you'd want to be working with them, and you can pick their brain. Like, there's just so many benefits to working with a returnee. That is stupid to have them on 2 in a row and allow people to know. Weird as fuck. They've done it before too. It's not like this is a new thing. Janky World was so cringy, but didn't drop a nuke on the season. It was bad though. It was so bad. Like Mastermind didn't. Oh, I mean, yeah, that was just a twist in the game. Obviously, they could have been any theme and they still would have dropped that in there, right? But yeah, the Mastermind thing was not necessarily all just. To me, the theme wasn't like the factor. It was the twist itself, right? So it could have happened in Janky World. They could have done this, and I still would have thought it was a bad twist. Humane, would you get them out ASAP? Returning players know how to maneuver in the game. we see the game a different way. I see Big Brother as a social strategy show that has a competition in it. I don't put much weight into who wins comps. I do think though that as much as you may not think that the comps weigh a lot, and as much as I think the comps, while they benefit you short term and long term, they could benefit you if you continue to win out. I do think that the jury, especially since a lot of these people that get cast on this show aren't the biggest super fans like us that really look into account of social strategy. I think that's why you also have to weigh in that these comps do matter, because a lot of these people are recruits and they look at it as, oh, you won challenges, you got power, you have the say in the house. That makes you more of a threat, and that makes you more of a possible winner. But I like that this cast didn't just look at that. And I think a lot of that was because of how much Vince screwed himself when it came to jury management. But I think in other seasons, we've seen that be a big factor. The Eric twist is BB8 was one of... sorry, 1 second real quick. I got to reply to a text, and I'll get right back to that message. Sorry, Gabe and Johnny are texting me about our football podcast. So if you guys check that out, we're going to be going live 7:15 Eastern, 4:15 Eastern, Pacific, if you guys want to check out our football weekly podcast. The Eric twist in BB8 was one of the most annoying, simply because I felt like he was playing a great game, a solo game, and it completely blew up his strategy. I don't disagree with you. I do think that was one of the worst twists of all time, and I hated that for his game. It should have ended sooner. I hated America's player, and that was my first season I watched, and I was rooting for Eric. He was my favorite player. But at the same time, you can't tell me that the most screwed over people of all time weren't Jody, Cameron, and Glenn. To go out the first night, especially Jody, hell, even especially Cameron, it's totally fucked. It makes you feel gross. Those things make me feel gross watching. And I was like, it takes so much to get cast. There's so many people that like, this is their dream to play. And then they finally get through all the process, all the maneuvering and their real life stuff, situating things so that they can do this. And then you're just out by a stupid twist on the first night. I hate it. At least try to. So it's all returning players in 50. Yes, all returning players in 50. It's a hallmark of 50 years of Survivor on our screens. And I would be worried if they want to cut me, if they got a sniff, if I'm playing them. I would be worried if they would cut me as well. Now the time has, and even back then, I kind of knew the Kyle and Joe were not all-stars. Nobody's asked to watch them again. I agree. No one wants to watch them again. We just saw Kyle win last season. We saw Joe as a Final Three GOAT because he was just trying to be the likable guy and not actually play the game. I don't need to see those players again. You're telling me out of thousands of people that have played Big Brother, okay, maybe hundreds, but hundreds of thousands of people that have played Survivor, Joe is one of the top ones you want back on your screen? I'm sorry, I can't. Even as great as the moment was with him and Ava, I can't get on board on that. Dame says she believed she was a lock for second place a few days before the finale. That's a bottom tier winner. We knew Chelsea was a lock weeks before. Another great point. But I do think she did a lot to improve her game towards the end stretch. I was shocked that Vince lost part 2. I think we all were. All you had to do was read the card. You had a 20-minute plus lead, whatever it may be. Just reread the card. It's not that hard. Oh my God. I just realized how far back I am. Okay, we're going to catch up here. I feel like people are starting to actually discredit competition wins in Big Brother, when in actuality, they are a massive part of the game. If Ashley doesn't win the final comp, she loses the game. I agree. Even if people disagree that Ashley loses that part to Morgan, Morgan takes Ashley, and Ashley can still win, I think Morgan still wins it. I really do. Because at the end of the day, the biggest thing in Ashley's corner was that she took the big shot at Morgan, who was the biggest competitor going into that final, the biggest threat, and you took her out. That's where I lie. Well, all agree she deserves to win, but not top 18 winners. I agree with that. Bobby, have you seen the pics of Vinny and Kelsey? LOL, people are kicking these two, and it's just getting weird. So I have that right here, actually. So let me pull that up because this is what I originally wanted to talk about, but we got talking in the comments. So let me switch this. All right. So one of the other things I have on here, and I will go back to the Ashley and all that. Right here, if you guys haven't seen it, we literally have paparazzi following Vince. When was the last time we had paparazzi following anyone from Big Brother after the season? It's wild. It's wild. But do we know for a fact that's Kelsey? Like, do we? I think it is. It looks like it is, but like, part of me is like, is it her? Is it not her? I'm sure it is, guys. I'm sure it is. Like, I have no doubts. But like, do you think that Vinny just did his his standard whining and manipulating to get her back? And also, kind of shame on Kelsey too, right? Like, I mean, not completely, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you said you're not giving this guy another chance, like you're done, all this stuff, and then like to be seen in public like this, it's just like, and him grabbing her around the waist and all that. I don't know, man, or her grabbing him around the waist. Excuse me. It's just, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird situation. I want to know your guys' opinion on it, though. It's just, I wish there was audio. I wish we could be a fly on the wall. There's someone that did like a dubbed over version of what they think the conversation was. It was like, I don't want you talking about that Morgan girl. Like right here where he's like laughing. He's like, oh, I'm not talking about her. And she's like, oh, I don't want you ever talking about that girl again. Like, it was actually really funny. But I digress. I mean, we don't really know what was said. We don't know what they were even talking about. It's just weird. All right, let me go back to big screen real quick. All right, so finding out Eric Stein was only told he cannot use a veto to take his ally off the block after he won the veto is crazy, which would have auto-nominated Evil Dick and Danielle is crazy. I mean, the whole game would have been different. The whole game would have been different, and it sucks. I hated America's Player. So happy about that. This is not the challenge. Also, a challenge watcher. We hate the stars points who are a twist, who is a social popularity jury-esque. I mean, that's just not the same game, right? It's not what we're asking for. Like, Eric could have thrown the veto to one of his two allies as they were last three in the comp, and he went and won, and then they told him you're not allowed to use it. That was just so rough. It was just a rough twist all the way around. Keep Big Brother a social game. F the challenges. Keep the challenge about comps. F the jury social. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I do think challenges are important. They're not ever going to get rid of challenges, so obviously challenges are still going to be important in it, especially winning HOH, winning power. But I agree. I'm tuning in more for the social strategy game. And the thing that sucks is the TV is, I feel like, shied away from the social strategy from multiple players and just focuses only on certain players. Let's not get it twisted. Ashley's biggest move this season wasn't her strategy and plotting. It was winning the final comp and taking out Morgan. 1,000%. 1,000% agree. Rachel was 17. Okay, so 16 and then 17 with Rachel. Gotcha. All right, so how would you decide HOH and veto? Exactly, like you have to have some competitions in there. With social games like the Sequester one, Circle still is one of the best games. Also, Safety Chain with the stupid wheel or any challenge attached. But they're never going to, that's what makes Big Brother is the HOH and veto. They're such mainstays of it. That's never going to change. Dr. Squatch Body commercial for Ava and Keanu. Could you imagine Ava in that commercial? Oh, that'd be great. Keanu too. Jimmy would be fun to see again, and they might bring back Zach because he pulled a Marcellus. I don't see either of those two returning. And I'll say I'd be fine with not seeing them either. Ashley's biggest move of the season was convincing Will and Rachel that Morgan was good for their game and to keep her, then bring Morgan and Vince in. It was a big move, but I still think that the biggest move of her game was winning that final HOH and taking out Morgan, her biggest threat. I think that's what I personally feel like. But I don't disagree. I do think that was important to her game as well. It helped allow her to explain that when it came to the end. What's up, Elaine? Thank you so much for joining. Armchair do nothing YouTubers who think they know top bottom tier players. The misogyny is disgustingly obvious. That's fine. You can feel however you want to feel. And if you don't like it, that's fine too. But I have this platform and I'm going to tell you guys how I feel about things. I don't think there's any misogyny here. So if you feel that way and you think that I'm being misogynistic, that's on you. I don't think I am. And if you guys think in the comments, we have multiple people here that always share their opinions and I read their opinions out loud. So I think that they would disagree with you on that take, but if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I can't tell you otherwise, but thank you for the comment. Appreciate you being here, even if you don't like me. All right. Hello, Misty. What's up, Pam? What's up, Pam? How you doing? And just because I said that I think that she's a bottom tier winner, I never said anything misogynistic against Ashley by any means. I said she had a great win. I just think that, in my opinion, I think that she would be bottom tier, and it's my platform to say how I feel. And if you don't like that, you don't like that. It's fine. It's fine. Ashley says she convinced Rachel to keep Morgan, but that doesn't necessarily make it true. I feel like Morgan herself convinced Rachel she was good for her game. And that's the thing too, is she convinced a lot of people that she was good for their game. Like, I think like the reason she got as far as she did was because of her social strategy, which was great. It was great social strategy, but it was all after Rachel left. And I feel like that's when she really had to play the game, which was so late into the season. That's why the first half, I don't disagree that we say, like, coast through until jury and then start playing the game. We say that every time. She did exactly what we said. But I feel like if you didn't have some kind of ground to sound on at the beginning of the game, I do think that it doesn't allow us to see you as one of these top tier winners. But I think it's a great winning game. See, there's a difference between, is it a great move to try to win the game, or is it make you a top tier winner? I think you could do either one, but I don't put them in the same category. It's just the right move to win the game. I got to turn off this fan. Oh, it was getting cold in here. I got the air running. First time ever the air in here is just working great. Chris says Ashley knew Morgan loved Vince, and therefore she would jump at an alliance if they said they wanted Vince to be thrown in. I'm guessing it worked perfectly. Vince disliked Ash, and yet he wouldn't nominate her. No, and that was due to her social game with Morgan. I agree. Circle as the comp on Sequester, not Circle the TV show. Oh, gotcha. I thought we were talking about Circle the TV show when I read that. I watched it on the feed. She went to Will first, using information to convince him Morgan was good for them, then went to Morgan and convinced her that Will was good for her. Yeah, she definitely played the right social aspects. Guys, I'm just rehashing the same stuff I'm saying. So I know I'm far behind in the comments, so I'm just going to leave it alone on what I've already said on that. Rachel, and then let's read the judges. You're doing a football podcast during the Padres game today? No, not till, well, yeah, it's going to be during the Padres game, but I will definitely have the Padres game over here in the corner. Don't get me wrong. It will definitely be watching that. All right. Eric is number one screwed for me. He was told he would be on the show, and then they said, you'll be America's favorite player. And then, or America's player, excuse me, and told him if he said no, they couldn't guarantee he'll be on the show. I still think it sucks. Yeah. And the fact that he's never been asked back is wild to me. It sucked. Don't get me wrong. It sucked. I agree with you totally about the Jody, Glenn, and Cameron. I can't imagine how tough the process was just to get casted. Exactly. Sure, Ashley co-signing Morgan's help, but let's not pretend that Morgan wasn't putting in serious work with both Rachel and Will after she was put on the block and Mickey's starting to get exposed. Mary says, no twist, put Eric on the block. He was put the typical way anybody else. I don't know why he didn't secure the votes. Yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, that whole twist sucked because it just ruined his game. He could have been a lot further. Vince is the Falcons in the Super Bowl, and it's true. That's a great analogy, is he's the Falcons in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. B. Nickel, yeah, Morgan put work in. I agree, but it landed because of Ashley. She was the one that convinced Rachel that she should stay. Morgan was the target initially for Rachel. All right. So then Joe and Ava was too much for me. Ava constantly crashing out was not entertaining. I agree. Well, it was just so boring. Last season was so boring. Don't bite your tongue. What's up, Tommy? How you doing? You'll never stop podcasting about this season. Just got here. No, I mean, the thing is, look at how many people are still here. Look at how many people are in the comments. The thing is, I'm not going to stop until you guys tell me you want to talk about something else, because it's bringing in the people. And honestly, when it'll die down eventually, like it'll probably die down after this week, but you guys want this content. This is what you asked for. That's why we're doing it. All right. Sorry for all the messes. I'm just a huge advocate of the game she played. I've watched feeds every single year, and this is the most excited I've been about a player since Andy Heron. So impressive. And I don't disagree with you. It was an impressive win. It was a refreshing win. It made the finale so much better. I think her win made the finale night the best finale night I've seen in a long time. So I don't disagree with you. We just have different opinion on like tier rankings and everything. Hi, I never thought they'd break up. I did. I thought for sure that was a real thing, but apparently not. What's up, Goody? Good to see you. B. Nickel. Morgan or Mickey would have remained the target that week if Lauren didn't stupidly use the veto on Vince. It had nothing to do with Ashley. LL, leave them alone and let them handle their business. That beard coming in great. Oh, finally got around to shaving it, so thank you. Kim says, at Reality After Show, do you think without Rachel's influence, Ashley would have won? I don't. I really don't. Like, I mean, here's the thing. We don't know. Maybe I'm biased towards Rachel, and I think Rachel was a big reason for Ashley's help in the win. Because I do think that, one, Rachel was able to convey Ashley's game to people in jury. And then two, I think that Rachel was always the bigger target and was really using a lot of her relationships in the house to also use to the benefit of both Will and Ashley. Not saying Ashley didn't do stuff. I'm not saying that. I just think that Rachel did more. And I think that her influence on Ashley and explaining to Ashley the game and like how to play it, and like really she did what she tried to do with Keanu with Ashley, and Ashley actually soaked up that information and ran with it. I don't discount Ashley's win by any means, but I do think Rachel was a big influence. Thank you for the comment, Kim. Ava needs a Gillette sponsorship. You guys. Yeah, Rachel wanted Mickey to stay initially, but Ash changed that. Sorry, I just remembered something I saw on social media about Ava. It made me laugh. Yes, Rachel wanted Mickey to stay initially, but Ash changed that, saying she had nothing to do with it is crazy, in my opinion. I wouldn't say she had nothing to do with it for sure. Even Bobby's friends don't like him. It's okay. Thanks, Frick. Bobby, I love you. Your views are fine. Don't let people try to silence you. Oh, I don't care. At the end of the day, like, I'll always defend myself, but I know I don't say anything that's out of line or, and I know people are going to be tuning in. So if you guys like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and that's fine. But I don't think that what I say necessarily, one, people have to take as gospel, and two, I don't think I ever come for anything misogynistic or wrong. So, like, you know, you'll never hear that kind of stuff from me. That's just not the person I am. I know you can't look into what people say, and I know I have a loyal crew here, so you guys are great. Casting is flawed. It's no longer normal people with normal jobs. Most are recruited with social media platforms. Morgan, Ashley, no Chada. Vince fought because he needed the money most. Thank you, Danny. Or is it Danny? Yeah, Danny. Danny, thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate you. I do agree. I think that it is flawed. I think that we have way too many of these people that are trying to be social media influencers or trying to be, you know, these big people to be cast on like other television shows that aren't necessarily playing the game for themselves or for that game that they're on. So I definitely agree with you. Somebody has to be at the bottom of the rankings. Exactly. There's always somebody at the bottom. It's not like there's rankings. Everyone does rankings. Taryn does rankings. Like, everyone does rankings. So it's not like it's a new thing. Yeah, Bobby was never misogynistic. No need for comments like that. We're all entitled to our opinions. Nothing was misogynistic. Thank you so much, Chris. Even though Chris and I might have differing opinions on the whole Ashley game and like the rankings and all that, like, we can all agree that that has nothing to do with any of this. There's just people out there that are just trying to say stuff to say stuff. So I appreciate you guys for having my back. And Jag and Eddie always gone by the default bottom. I don't disagree with you. Take off your shirt. Not going to happen. Yeah, Jag was a bummer win. Yeah, it was a really bad win. Oh my gosh, I am way behind. Okay. Chris, respectfully, I never once said she had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying it wasn't as big of a game-changing move as you believe it to be. Agree or disagree? I don't know who Frick is, but I already like him. Yeah. Why isn't let me click on your comment? Okay. I'm still live right now, aren't I? Okay, there it goes. Now it's not going there. Okay. Yeah, Frick's one of my friends in real life, so you would like him because you're one of my friends in real life. Why a Padres fan when you like the Vikings? So Vikings, I was a Vikings fan. I picked him when I was in 4th grade. Loved Randy Moss, loved Chris Carter. It was the 98 season. You know what happened in the 1998 season. Heartbreak, but it was a great season. And I stuck with him ever since. Padres, my whole family was either living in Central California. They were either Giants or Dodgers. And I said, screw you guys. I'm not being the same. I'm picking the Padres. And now I live in the San Diego area, so it's actually perfect. I don't know what's on my hat. But yeah, so now I live in this area, so it's even more better. I get to go to games all the time. So yeah, being a Padres fan. Plus, I always like rooting for teams that like have never won a championship. So to be there when it first happens, which I got a lot of money on the line if the Padres win. So let's see. Yeah, my stupid haircut still bothers me. All right, I got to catch up. I found the Ashley win to be the most exciting win since Taylor. I agree. I think that it was a very fun win to watch. You said it had nothing to do with Ashley. It's fine. We have differing views on the game, which is why it's fun to talk about. And that's what makes it for like this community great is we can all disagree on our takes, but at the end of the day, it's just opinions. Talk about Showdown, not happening here. Not happening here. That no one cares about that. Yeah, we need to move on to something else. I'm already over BB27. I agree with you guys, but like people continue to ask me to talk about it, so that's why I've been doing it. But I think here on forward, we're probably going to go more Survivor and Tar and other reality spaces. But I hope you guys will all still be a part of it regardless. I was over it weeks ago. I'd argue Morgan winning and cutting Vince then would have been the best outcome. Vince would have thrown a fit. Imagine the entertainment, and Morgan deserved the win. I don't disagree with you. I think Morgan versus Ashley, if Morgan cuts Vince, that would have been hilarious. But then I think that I would have loved to see like Morgan win in that scenario because I think she did play the best game. But I think that I was highly entertained in the fact that Ashley, who we all thought she hasn't won anything all season, is she really going to win this? And then she actually does it and takes the move and makes the right move by taking out Morgan. I thought it was a lot of fun. Rachel absolutely helped the Ashley win. There's no denying that. Ashley also made every juror feel amazing about her on the way out. Jury management is a huge part of the game, and that's what Vince lacked, and that's what Ashley excelled in, and that was a huge part of this season. What's the joke about Ava needing a shave? She doesn't shave her armpits, and people have a problem with that. To each their own. I'm not saying one thing or another. If you want to have hairy armpits, have hairy armpits. Is it my preference? No, but to each their own. But people have a real problem with it. Oh, no, I wasn't talking about you saying that, Bobby, regarding Ashley. I was replying to the message in the chat. That's all. No. I know that, Chris. I know that. I'm not. I totally know what you're saying. Sorry if it came up that I was thinking otherwise, but I knew what you were talking about. Kim, have you not seen Ava's armpits? Exactly. I think we can all agree we don't want to see Ava back on reality TV. Absolutely not. No? Well, go check it out. Go check it out. There's this video of this lady, and I was laughing about it earlier. She showed her mom that Ava was like lifting her arms and had hairy armpits, and she's like, the mom's like, "Oh, imagine what her hoo-ha looks like." I was like, Jesus. People just post everything nowadays. I was like, oh gosh, what are we doing here? Who cares? If she wants to have hairy armpits, let her have hairy armpits. Like, come on. But it was just so random. Yep, someone has to be bottom of the list, and it's 100% Jag. Frick, I'm not even gonna read that comment. You're so stupid. Like this, Frick, stop. That's not even cool. Until Steve took Vanessa, his game was so mid, but then elevated him. Same with Ashley. I ranked around the same. Yeah, no, I think it's very similar. Very similar. L take Frick. Yeah, no, Frick's just trying to be a troll. He's just trying to be a troll. He's someone I know in real life. He's just trying to be a troll here. Don't worry about him. I will spare you on the description of Ava's armpits. Then, LOL, that's where the shave thing came from. Exactly. But I will give the edge to Steve. Honestly, I give the edge to Steve too. In my opinion, I do think Steve played a better game, but I think it's very close. Nicole, I don't think Ava wants to be on TV again. She's been radio silent. Yeah, I don't disagree. The Judges Alliance was the worst thing for Morgan and Vince's game. Honestly, though, like they had so many better outcomes that could have worked for them. And it was shocking to me that that's the road they took. Imagine how far Rachel would have gone had it not been for that stupid twist. Imagine. Can you talk about Russ? Well, if there's an off-season podcast to talk about, eventually I might set it up so I do some gaming stuff on here. But I mean, this is mainly going to be reality TV stuff, and then I might at some point mix in gaming at some point if that's what people want to see. I'm not going to do it if people don't want to see it because I want to keep my numbers, and I have a niche. So if it's keeping the niche in the same way, that's what I have to do. Bro, I was in pre-K when I remember rooting for the Saints. I was in college when the 2009 season happened. And you guys beat us to go to the Super Bowl. That's the only time I ever cried. Only time I ever cried after a game. Are you going to recap Amazing Race? They have 3 of the Big Brother winners on this season. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Amazing Race. We're going to be talking about Survivor. We'll be talking about Traders when that comes down the road. We'll be talking about Traders Canada. There's going to be all kinds of things. Everything reality TV. It doesn't end here when Big Brother ends. We continue to stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 noon Pacific to 2 p.m. Pacific. So, guys, I will be here for all that. I got to catch up on your comments because I got to get out of here soon. Show your pits, not happening, Frick, just like the shirt. As they should have a problem with it, LOL. Too many people have spoiled Tar outcome. I haven't seen it, so I don't want to know. So, if you can, don't put that spoiler out there. I have no idea who wins, so we will play it for all of us that are not spoiled and talk about everything from Tar as we go. I rank 14 Xavier, 15 Cody, 16 Taylor, 17 Rachel, 18 Steve, 19 Ashley, something like that. I think that's fair. I think that's actually pretty fair rankings. I would put Cody higher, though. I would put Cody higher for sure. I'm confused. I just started watching, and I can't tell if you're live or not. I am live. Pam, I'm here. I'm here. I'm live. I see you. I'm just behind in the comments is all. I didn't need the mental image of Ava's tumbleweeds. You and me both. Morgan was a great player, but for me, watching Ashley push her views to Morgan and then see Morgan use the exact terminology to other players and say thing like just ask Ashley was great. Yeah, I think that let me read that again. Ashley pushed her views on Morgan and then see Morgan use the exact terminology to other players. It was funny. She did have a big influence on Morgan. She did have a big influence on Morgan, and I think it was important, but I just think that there was just so much more to be desired when it came to like having some kind of power in the house for Ashley, but obviously she didn't need it. Keanu is the greatest player to never win next to Jose, Frenchie, Ronnie, and Willie. That is such a hot take. Tommy, that's such a hot take. I disagree completely, but I do think Keanu is one of the funnest players we've had in a long time. Like most rootable player we've had in a long time, even though he had some questionable takes on things and maybe should look in the mirror a little bit more. I do think he was fun to root for that underdog. Morgan gave Vince so much crap about him taking Lauren to the end. And then she says that she would have taken Ashley and Joy third place. Not wrong, not false. We want to see you play Call of Duty. We'll see who wants to see that because I know Frick you do, and maybe Dave. Dude, I was 3 when that happened. My baby brain couldn't remember that, sadly. You were 3? God, I'm old. I'm old. I was in college. I was many beers deep during that game in 2009. And you were 3, so you were born in 2006? So you're not even 21 yet. Oh, man. I was your age when I watched that game. Holy crap. Wow. You mean I was your age when I watched that game? I just don't see Rachel's game. She's terrible socially, and she's no longer good at comps. I mean, she did win one HOH, but yeah, I mean, honestly, she plays a pretty decent strategic game. when it comes to socially, she could be better at times. But I think she has her people and she has her back no matter what, even if it's to the detriment of her own game. I didn't love Cody's winning game, but he's definitely top 5. He's dominating All-Star season. I agree. I think he's ranked way higher. And he's gotten to the final 2 twice. Could have won his first time had he just not taken that one person. Derek, sorry. You forgot about Lisa, the glitter queen. I love it. Pam, LOL, I had PT, so I missed getting to you in the beginning of your live. It's all good, but I definitely say check it out because I had a very long rant about my haircut that it's supposed to be a high fade. Supposed to be a high fade. My rant was pretty good. But yeah, it's basically I got a buzz cut. And I'm not very happy about it, but I didn't say anything to the lady. I let it go, but yeah, that's not a high fade. That's not a high fade. Oh, this has got a buzz cut. My Lord. I'm going to have to be wearing hats for a while. I mean, to be honest, Morgan was easily manipulated. Keanu was even able to get in her head on multiple occasions. Not false. I don't care for Keanu. That's fair. It's really funny to think that Vince literally could have gone many routes and got to the end. Keanu would have taken him. Lauren would have taken him. The judges was awful for Vince. He had so many better outcomes, and he completely blew it. I think Keanu is great obstacle. We cannot 16 players agree on personality, takes life experience, religion, politics, and sexuality. That's the thing. Like, Keanu was great for what he was, and I think that he'll be on the challenge. He'll be on TV in the future. He might even be on Big Brother again. We'll see. Bobby couldn't grow a beard in 03. Well, yeah, because I was 14 at the time. Frick, you were there. Keanu was a great asset as a cast. I think so too. I mean, imagine the season without Keanu. Even if you don't like him, imagine the season without Keanu. It would not have been the same. Ava should contact Gillette for some promo opportunities. What's up, Mickey? Thank you so much for joining the chat. People mentioned that in the chat earlier too. Have you heard yet whether there will be a winter BB? I've not heard anything. We're still wondering, but I feel like they would have said something at the finale, and I feel like Julie would have said, "Oh, and we'll catch us in the winter when we do this," But no, she said we'll see you next summer. So I don't think it'll happen. Oh, I'm obsessed with Lisa. Bobby, she's on my list. Dear God, please no. Tommy, there's no way she's on your list. She's no way she's on your list. My gosh, we have complete opposite tastes. Wow, that is a buzz. Yeah, I asked for a high fade. I know I'm showing this again, people. I don't care. It still bugs me. This is what I asked for. This is the picture I showed her and the reference I wanted. Kirk Cousins, that haircut. That's what I asked for. Exactly like that. Just maybe a little shorter so I don't have to come in and get my haircut. So, okay, I understand. Zzz, zzz, zzz. I was like, she did it so fast. She did it so fast that I couldn't correct her. Oh man, why does it do that? It absolutely blows my mind. And I thought, okay, she's just going up to the line like I asked with this clipper. That's why she did it. She went. Zzz, zzz. I was like, there's nothing I can say here. Hard to do a high fade with LeBron hairline. Hey, screw you, Frick. Bobby, do you have a favorite player all time? I feel like we all have a favorite player. Who's yours? I mean, mine's pretty predictable. Obviously, it's Dan. Dan is my all-time favorite player. And this might shock some of you guys. I have a lot of love for Ian. Trying to think who else is out there, man. I mean, it's just been so long. If you actually had me think about it, like my actual favorite player, like as far as like person, probably Eric Stein. Eric Stein was my first ever person I really rooted for. So actually, I would probably change. Dan's my favorite winner. Eric Stein's probably my favorite player. That's where I would probably put it. Chris, after the season, I have to say Rachel. What about mini tar every year with BB Brothers? I wouldn't. I'm not opposed to them doing tar with like Survivor, Big Brother all the time. Maybe that's a hot take. Would you like to see them cast someone that's a physical beast in their 50s instead of one that's clearly won't win a comp? Yes, 1,000% yes. I think they need to cast more 30 plus than early 20s. I think 30 plus is like the prime spot. Rachel, top 5 for me. I loved her already, even though she's in the bottom tier of winners. She came back this time and played a fantastic game. We'll never know how it could have gone, though. I agree. And that's the thing that sucks the most is we'll just never know what happened with Rachel. Like I said, guys, at the beginning of the stream, I reached out to Rachel, text her, let her know how much we love her and support her, and that she has a huge fan base behind her. And that, you know, if she would love to come on the stream, I would love to have her. And hopefully I'm going to give her time to hang out with family and friends and decompress from that crazy experience. But when she's ready, I'm here to talk to her live on stream. And she messaged me back. She said, yeah, absolutely. Like, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll make that work in the future. Lisa is so hot. I slid into your DMs. Brick is the best. No, he's not. At least you still have a good hairline. Do I? It's pretty. I got like a 5 head, guys. Love Dan. Don't care for Ian. Bobby, who's your favorite challenger of all time? I'm not a big challenge guy. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm really not a big challenge guy. I mean, obviously, I think for entertainment purposes, Johnny Bananas is always at least good entertainment, even though he's on the show every freaking season. But he is good entertainment. Like he knows how to work a camera. But like, I don't know, challenge wise, I'd have to look into it. I really would. I would really have to look into it. I don't even know who I would say. Oh shit, I could be almost 50 plus physically beast. No, you could not. You are not a physical beast, Dave. Let's be real. You mean, frick, whoever goes up against Keanu on challenge. Seriously, right? Frick is the best. He would be a great guest. No, he would not. He doesn't know anything about Big Brother. What's up, Dad's Chips? Good to see you again. I got a 3.5 fingers hairline. Good to see you back, my friend. CT wearing bananas as a backpack is GOAT moment. Oh, I love CT. I will say that. I do love CT. Damn it. LOL. All right, so I finally caught up on the chat. Man, you guys were absolutely killing it in the chat today. I do got to get out of here. I got to go pick up the little one. For those of you that are new here, thank you so much for being part of the chat. Thank you so much for watching after the fact. If you guys can, I know we still got a couple seconds. I'm going to do a little promo, but I want to say to the people here, you guys are the reason I do this. You guys being in the chat, commenting, giving me some, you might not agree with me, but you are willing to hear my point. I'm willing to hear your point. That's what makes us fun. That's what makes us great. If you guys can, please like the video. Please hit the bell notification so you're notified when I go live. And also, if you guys can leave a comment, whether you like me or not, just leave a comment in the chat, in the comment section of the YouTube video. It helps us out with the algorithm. The more comments we have, the more this gets in front of other people, and the more people we get in here, and we can grow as a community. So I appreciate you guys. I think you guys are absolutely amazing. Twitch.tv/Bobby Goodspeed if you want to follow me on Twitch. At After Show on YouTube if you want to follow on YouTube. At Goodspeed Bobby on my social media handles. And like I said, every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll be live noon to 2 p.m. Pacific every single one of those days. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking a lot more reality television. Let me know in the comments what else you guys want to hear from me. If there's anything else you guys need or want to hear me talk about, I would love to just discuss whatever your guys' hot topics are for what's going on in reality television at the time. Thanks, Bobby. Everyone liked the video. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate your comments. Padres playing right now. I'm going to tune in as I go pick up the little one. Wes was good. How hype were you when Eric was unmasked? I was very hype. I love Eric. Even though I thought it was stupid, I did love seeing Eric on Big Brother all these years later. If Bobby's shirtless, I would explode. No, it would not. All right, guys. With that being said, I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow at noon Pacific. Hope you guys all have a wonderful, safe Thursday afternoon. And don't forget to like, sub, and hit the bell notification. All right, guys. See you later.